Sorry. So kind of planning it out, realizing that these darker mountains are going to be about halfway. You can't see, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
About
There's a
halfway,
chair over here if you want
a
to
little
sit.
bit up, and then a thin at the top. If you want, you can sketch that out, but why don't we just sketch it with some color? So we want blue. The colors are limited in these. I think they're making more colors all the time. But I would start, I was going to do it up here. I'm following the peak of that mountain, and I'm on dark paper, which I just realized is not necessarily the best thing for this subject.
So you're mixing it right in the little cups then, you're not...
Yeah, so I'm picking up some of the light blue, maybe a little purple.
It's not taking away the pristineness? I mean, the colors aren't mixing in?
Oh, because at this point, no, these are two of the same, similar values.
Okay.
I wouldn't go from here and come back in
Okay,
here.
all right.
I'd have my rag, wherever mine is. And then the next one's a little deeper. So I'm going from here, the lighter colors, to the deeper colors as I come forward. That's very not bluish. It might not work. I might have to flip.
You want my white paper?
I'm okay. I just would like you guys to try again. My intent is to get you folks.
Do you find the colors change when you put them on black paper?
Oh yeah, they don't really change, but the paper that's underneath does affect what's happening on top. Definitely. And I hate to do this, but okay, I'm going from my light end, I'm going to go a little deeper. Yeah, so I'm mixing, so I'm picking up some of this teal and a little bit of that blue, and I'm hoping that'll work pretty well for these middle mountains. And then, so already I've got, it'll have less contrast and there'll be a little more color in the foreground here. So I'm just kind of laying in my composition very quickly. It's not exciting. It's not the best picture of mountains. I can also come back, decide to lay in some of the fog. It's a nice little stream back here. So as I'm laying it in, I'm thinking of the crest of this hill, and then I want it to just kind of fade back into that other hill, because that's what fog does. And a little lighter, my picture.
What color are you using? You're not using white, are you?
No, it's a light beige. It's a raw umber tint. So it's on the yellowish side, and I'm mixing it a little bit with this light purple. Why? I don't know. I think those will go well together. So I want to define that crest and then kind of allow this to. So I defined the lower edge, and then the upper edge is going to be fuzzy. This is interesting. It's not really coming out exactly as I had envisioned. That's okay.
That happens to us.
Yeah, right. I was doing a watercolor yesterday and just not what I was envisioning. All right, so I'm using this, not thick enough for this paper, but it's helping me design. So now I can step back and I can go, they're a little too even. I want to make them less even. How do I do that? I'll cut this hill out a little bit with more fog. See how that's a little more interesting shape. And then I'd switch over to my pastels. What's in the sky? I'm going to start light blue.
God, looks like you
So you're pressing really hard.
Yeah, right. Which I'm gonna get rid of, sorry, but yeah. And I'm gonna progressively come down with different values. And as I told you, I set up my set. So it has tints to shades. I think this is too warm. I don't want warm. I want to stay kind of cool still. I'm glazing over that other color so it still shines through. Because look at the value difference between the sky and that mountain. There's not much difference there. I do like a little edge of that darkness to kind of define it, but you could also let them kind of fog together into the distance.
Yeah, that's good.
A little more intense and a little more green. This is one of my homemade ones. Let's see what it does. Ooh. A lot more green than I was expecting.
So to alter that, would you glaze it with something?
I could glaze it, like if I wanted to bring that back. I want these mountains back here in the distance too. Too green, so yeah, maybe something a little more light, a little bluer. That's where it's a good idea when you're laying out your colors to lay out the colors you think you're going to use, take a picture of them. In that picture, edit
So
and
smart.
remove all of the saturation, and you can see your values. Are your values what you want them to be? Like I did on the demo the other day. I didn't show that. Did I show that? I sent it out. Who saw the demo video? A few of you did, right? I'm editing it now, my section of it, and I'm going to put in shots of the videos, and I'll share it with everybody so you can see it.
I don't think I'm on that list because
It was
my registration got messed up for the class.
oh,
So I haven't gotten any of the emails from the class.
for Piedmont?
Oh, no, for whatever, any of the demo, never mind.
Any of the videos from class?
Yeah.
Okay.
Remember my registration got messed up?
Yeah, well, let's be
So-
sure you have that, and I'll
Yeah, I
send
didn't
you.
get a from Pam about the class, and then I haven't, because I'm not on that email list, I'm not on the class
Oh.
list. I'm assuming.
I have my computer, but after class, if we can
Yeah.
check that, because I want to be sure
Thank you.
you get that. So nice of you to tell me that now.
Well, this is only my second class. 'Cause the first week I was in Florida. Third week I had stupid migraine.
Oh yeah. So here's, I don't know, I'm just kind of playing. Migraines are horrible. But yeah. I'm glazing that next mountain in. I don't know. And then the next value coming down. Wow, it is getting so green. Okay, we'll go with it.
We're gonna call that your headache that you're having.
Yeah.
Color issues.
I didn't really plan this. I had, you know,
That's all right. It's still
no
beautiful.
idea. So there's some there. Then coming in with the foreground. Nice dark trees. I'm defining the upper edge kind of them, and then I'll kind of let it just fade down into, because I'm not that concerned with too much detail about it. Not great. Hey, I did well the other day. I was pretty happy. I had such a great day that day.
That's good.
Yeah, unusual. You get so nervous. Both Kathy and I, Kathy who ran the Zoom and stuff. At the beginning, we're both like, oh, I'm nervous. And you're nervous until you get going, and then you get so involved in the painting, it kind of goes away, that nervousness. Let's get some fog. So the fog in the background here that I want. Yeah, it's not a white. See that? Okay. So that's going to help set it back because it's going to create less contrast between the fog there and the fog that's in the front. I'm going to creep it up the mountain here. Behind that one a little bit. And there's some fog over here. And my paper's doing that line thing. So when you get into your good like UArt or Lux Archival, that won't happen because it's more consistently made. It's very consistent. I can't get my thesaurus out when I'm sitting here painting. Okay. I'm kind of doing some little jaggedy lines around this so it outlines the trees on this little hill. Coming forward. I'm using that sharper edge of this pastel here so I can watch that, and I'm not laying it perfectly flat on the paper. I'm keeping a little more pressure on that end than the other end. So it's just a little microscopically off. Irregular in nature, always irregular. The tops of the trees, kind of what I'm talking about here. That's what I'm talking about. What's that from? That's some movie or something.
Chandler or Joey?
If you want, because it's fogged, maybe blend it a little bit.
It's Joey though. You're right. Yeah, Joey.
That's what I'm talking about. Is it, Joey?
So.
Oh, came up with a friend's quote today. Chandler. Poor guy. Just tried so hard. I would adjust that sky a little bit more. I can come down with some. That's a yellow green. I'm staying in my cool greens right now. So if I pick this up, which I love this color, that's that dark olive green, it really wouldn't go with this. So I need to stay away from that. I need a blue that's as dark as that.
Who makes that dark olive green?
This what?
Who makes that dark olive
That's a
green?
Townsend.
Townsend.
You can tell because there's a lot of grit in it.
Right. Yeah. Mm.
She just knows that.
Crazy she can just look at it and be like,
Yeah, no.
Oh, some of them I do, some I don't.
Mm.
I know this is a Unisom, I think. I've got a couple Terry Ludwigs. But then if I pick this one up, no, I know this is a Rembrandt because, I don't know, it's round and it's hard. This is Grumbacher, but it's they don't make Grumbacher anymore. Can't get those. So if you see some at a yard sale, man, grab them. I mean, if you don't want them, I'll take them.
I bet Mama had some. Did I give it?
I have, my friend I'm staying with years ago was very much into pastel. She's now focusing on watercolor. And she and her instructor bought a full roll of Wallace, Kitty Wallace paper.
Wow.
It's this high, it's a full roll. They divided it in half and she's, I'm not using much of this. You want to try it? So yesterday we're cutting. So I cut out a couple big sheets like this. I'm going to do a couple big paintings on legendary Kitty Wallace paper, which they don't make anymore. So I don't know. So that's
I like that.
It's beautiful.
It is, it looks great.
And in, you know, 8 minutes.
Can I
maybe,
ask
isn't it?
you, and it's gone already, but you had that roll of fog up on the left.
Yeah.
I think she maybe had commented on it. What is the arm movement you did to make that? It looked like an ocean fog rolling in, you know?
Kind of up here.
Yeah, it was up along the very top. Of
Oh,
those.
this?
Yeah, it kind of disappeared when you put the sky in. Not kind of did.
You mean the sky color along that ridge?
Well, it was fog and it was kind of rolled looking. And it was there.
When she said the Northern Lights, that?
I don't know. Is that where you're
Yeah,
talking about too? Yeah.
She just drug it across and it.
Because I didn't see her arm moving.
Okay, I'm watching again this
Okay.
lower edge.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna follow along again at, mostly that's on the paper, but partially the rest of the pastel too. And I'm just kind of like that. I think that's,
Kinda, yeah.
it's just
It
cause,
seems smushier than that, but that's good.
yeah,
I mean, that
but
gives
it was
me
a different
idea.
pastel too, so.
Right.
Yes,
Oh, you did it in pan pastel.
Oh, initially, yes,
Yeah.
I did, yeah.
So in the photo, it's got that deep black on the bottom, which
I
I'm
turned
wondering-
into blue.
okay, so
In the front on the left.
on the very, yeah, but in the front and the left there, you got that, I really like that, yeah, I was like that. That just kind of gives it a fourth dimension.
You want that tree in there, is that what you're saying?
That deep black, I mean, can you use,
You're not finished yet.
were you,
Yeah.
yeah, there, yeah. Now that seems to me to give even better depth.
I mean, I'd rather not use black. I would get a dark color if I could for this.
It's probably too warm.
Yeah. Kind of more like that.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah. Is it wrong to like that?
Yes. You, out the door.
Love it.
No, because
mean,
it
that
does.
just
And you can
totally
see less
finishes it.
contrast, more intensity
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
If you wanted to put behind, what if there was some, I don't know. I don't know if I can do this. What if there was some fog? Say that all the time.
Terry Lynn, we had this guy who demonstrated for us, who was a pastel artist, and he sometimes uses charcoal, you know, the charcoal, vine charcoal,
Yep.
instead of black, because he says it picks up the color that it goes over. But
It-
it's
it
also dull, so I was just.
Does. I mean, here, multiple vine charcoals. I use this a lot. So if, and especially, what if we want some, but it's not black. She wanted black.
Which
So-
is wrong.
Here's the vine charcoal, and yeah, you can kind of use it to blend the other colors, but it's a softer
Yeah.
because it's not black.
But it doesn't have, but it's flat. So you're saying the pastel, there's all those little layers of.
No, the
color that
pastel
you
black is
reflect.
black. The charcoal, the vine charcoal is the charcoal color. It's not super black.
But it's not reflective.
Right, exactly. So it's not going to.
Right.
So, you know, if you really wanted to pop that forward, then maybe there's, and I'm not thinking because I'm talking very much, you know, but here's some more fog.
I want to go hiking in that little valley.
Me too.
Here. And I should have led the eye. I wasn't really leading the eye up and stuff. I'm going to let this fog come over this hill a little bit here.
Yeah, that's nice.
In here becomes kind of indistinct. Charcoal, and this is coal, I believe. This is the vine charcoal, and it's hard to see on this paper.
T-vine or the-vine?
It's vine charcoal, and this is coal.
It is divine.
It's divine.
Oh, yeah, there is a big difference.
Coal is just. It's more, it shows better on this paper.
Oh, yeah.
Big difference.
Black, and it's still a charcoal gray.
Big difference.
But I use vine charcoal all the time too.
In
Was
your
this guy?
actual painting,
Yes,
you use that.
I do. Usually I draw in my stuff, because if you're drawing in with the vine charcoal, and you go like, I don't like that line. it's gone. Very versatile, and you have to be aware of that too. If you did the vine charcoal drying and you wanted to keep it, you want to spray it with some alcohol or something to set it, if you want to keep that on. You can come back in over with it as well.
Question.
Yes.
I've seen online people using pastels but then drawing over them with what looks like pencils. Are those the charcoal pencils? Because when I looked up pastel pencils, that's what came up.
There are pastel pencils
To do fine lines and stuff.
to do fine lines. And you can see how often I use these.
I have a friend,
Use them right up.
I have a friend that gave me a big wooden box,
Yeah?
500. I think they're Rembrandt pencils.
Pencils.
I don't know what to do with them. I love the box.
Keep the box.
Here.
I would take them.
These are Cretacolors.
Well, you do much more detailed stuff.
If you do detail, this is a good way. Keep in mind that these are harder than a lot of these.
Right. But they
So if
usually
you're
go on
working
top, right?
soft on hard, soft starts.
Yeah.
I mean, is on top.
Yeah. I mean, honestly.
Hard, medium, soft.
And so
So-
those would be underneath.
Right, so if you've
So
got some
not on top.
soft areas and you try to come over that with a harder one, it's basically, that's working. Well, there goes my theory, okay.
Maybe it's the sandpaper. if
Maybe
it's
that's why,
working.
no, maybe that's why I bought these particular. I don't even know where I
Are
got
those
these.
Cretacolor or?
Yeah, they're Cretacolor.
Yeah.
And they're called soft pastel. or
They're
called pastel
not, they are
pencils.
pastel pencils.
Okay.
But if it's a thick area of soft pastel, it's apt to just scrape it off.
Right.
But if you plan ahead that that's where I'm going to put my pencils in,
Yeah.
that would work fine.
I think mostly where I've seen it is there's an artist who does pet portraits, and she does the forefront of the fur and the whiskers and stuff with
The whiskers
Yeah.
with those, yeah, because then you can get nice thin lines. Oftentimes you can also get thin lines with the edge. If I do it right,
Oh, okay. So that
you
is
know.
until that's not.
But that has to be
sharp anymore.
square. You can't do it with the round ones, can you?
No, you have to, it has to have the edge on it. So that's why, again, I don't have it with me, but that wall, drywall scraping stuff will help you
Now
sharpen
this-
edges if you need it.
don't use your sandpaper for, you could, you know, if you're not using your
Well, that's-
sandpaper
yeah.
anymore for
When I'm
art, you can use it to sharpen
painting-
your pastels.
off to the side, I'm looking for a color here. But off to my side when I'm actually painting, I'll take strips of this and I tape them off to the side. So then I'm like, ooh, I need a sharp edge.
Right.
I'll sharpen one
That
edge,
makes
look
sense.
at that, sharpen the other edge. And then I should have a pretty good sharp line in between.
Nice.
Yeah, it's good.
Now I've got,
Just whips it right
I don't know what that is in the sky.
It's an alien landing.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they always green. I think they should be purple.
What green is that? That is really, that's a. See, before you even touch a paper, if you're looking for something similar, just hold it there. Is it the same or not? If you're wondering how soft it is, you have that little piece off to the side. You can touch it and see this one's a little bit harder than this one. I don't know. There's my tree branch coming into. Who talked about that, right?
No need for a trunk.
But you could, because that often happens. This, you can see the potential here. You can't see it here, but you can see the potential of dark. And
I didn't think I would like it, but it really looks like a valley. It's just beautiful.
it's because I'm amazing.
You
I'm kidding.
I
had to
know.
break-
Somebody else.
I know.
Absolutely.
I felt so good at the end because the demo went well. The show was beautiful, and I enjoyed making comments that hopefully would help people instead of I chose this one because I like it. I hope nobody knows who I'm talking about, but it was very obvious. It's like they've been around so long, and back then there weren't that many pastelists, and he was one of the gods of pastels, and
Well, and he liked it.
Well, I did, the ones I chose, I like.
You wouldn't use them if you didn't like them.
I was gonna say, you probably wouldn't choose them if you.
But for people to learn from it, you want to talk about the applications and their marks they're making and what's the
And the reasons.
artistic, the principles and the elements of art and how that works together so that not just them, but anybody else listening. Like B.F. Reed's picture, I'd seen that before, but this time I was studying it. And it's two guys sitting in front of this cracked doorway like some sort of warehouse or something. But the division of space and the layering of colors, the way she did it, and how it draws everything to those two guys sitting there on their phones. And then she calls it chasm. And I'm like, why did she call it chasm?
Chasm between them.
Between them. I mean, it seems like this big dark entrance between these two red doors is the chasm, but no, there's a chasm.
Between the people.
I love that symbolism too. So
And who is that? What's her name?
B.F. Reed. She's North Carolina.
So how do you clean those spongy things?
I will just wipe them here, or every now and then I go over and I soap them down and squish them out and clean them out.
With water? Is that what you
Soap and water. Dawn. I always use Dawn. They do wear down after a while.
It's like makeup sponges.
Yeah, but I've tried makeup sponges and they're
It's not the
different.
same.
But look how it's worn down on the edges there. You can see the sandpaper is just kind of ripping them apart.
Do you ever put pan pastel over your soft pastels?
Oh, that's a little tricky
Just wonder.
because the sponge tends to pick it up.
Me too.
Oh, here it is.
No, see, it tends to pick it up, but you could also use this to blend.
That's the one she's talking about.
Let me try down in here.
It is creating an effect.
Is
though.
that a link to the art show?
No, I just looked her up on Instagram. My Instagram is my art.
Oh, wow, look at that.
So you could,
Cats. And cats.
but it picked up a lot of blue. But yeah, I mean, that's one nice thing about this type of paper and stuff. It's not going to be your great stuff, but for practicing and trying different techniques and playing around with it, saying, oh, test it out over here and then go over here.
Glad you turned us on to that.
You're welcome. Cheap Joe's does have pan pastels and they have the palettes.
Do you have to buy the palette? I mean, I've gotten them and they're in stacks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was saying.
So did you just buy a big set and they gave you that palette, or did you buy the palette separately?
Cheap Joe's will do that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I buy the palette separately.
okay.
I happened over the last 4 years, got 2 Pan Pastel awards. So when you get those, they say, here, you have this much money, and you just go on, now I want some of this and this and this and this, which is really nice. Even if you don't feel really great, it's good to enter, especially start with some of the more local shows. You learn a lot, even if you don't get accepted or even if you don't get an award or something. I mean, I did that for years. We all did that for years.
But it would be nice if they would critique and say why it didn't get in. Do they do that, or they just reject it?
I don't do that if I'm a judge, yeah, a judge or jury, but if somebody asked me honestly, I would.
Because that would
Like
be
if you said my
learning.
critiques didn't have anything negative, I wasn't going to do that but if I'm in my Patreon and they're looking to learn, we do both. We do the negatives and the positives and what you can do to improve it.
Which is good.
Because it's kind of intimidating to enter those shows if you don't
It
have a lot of
is.
exposure. You know, you're still new to it. It's just kind of intimidating.
It is intimidating, but you learn. Like as in this show, there's about 8 paintings I couldn't even look at because they were not cropped. Probably there were still a couple that got through with little edges showing, you know. But there was one you could see the push pins like this, you know. And one person, they were totally out of focus. You can't see what's going on if it's out of focus in a photo. If I were in front of it in person, that would be a different situation.
Maybe that was intentional.
All 3 paintings, maybe. Oh, see, I even remember how many there were. Your turn. Do you have something you want to work on and just you do? Yeah.
My turn. Our turn.
brought two options. They're both very orange. All kinds of orange today, I don't know.
It's holiday. I mean, it's, you know, Halloween-ish this time. Up to you. I mean, you're very comfortable with animals. How, can you do that quickly? Or does it take time? Or do the landscape?
I love the sun too coming through the trees.
Yeah.
I do too.
The sun streams.
Yeah.
That would be really fun.
Now, this star effect, can I show? Yeah, as you're setting up, the star effect in this photo is a special filter that photographer put on the lens. That's not what the sun looks like when it's coming through trees. It's too,
Symmetrical forms.
yeah, it's too gitchy. That's not the word I want. I need my friend Webb because he knows all the Jewish, but he'd have a word for it.
It's too
He's not
Photoshop.
Jewish, but he has all the, he grew up with Jewish people.
Just basically it's fake,
Okay, that makes sense.
right?
Yeah, it's
unreal.
it's not real. It's unrealistic. But otherwise, yeah, that in that area, and make it a little like when I'm doing a
Those colors are very muted compared to, just because I didn't print it high quality.
yeah, which is probably better in your case. And that's a professional photo, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
So-
it's not my photo.
I don't know.
Oh, wait, would you take out the barbed wire and then.
You want the
I don't want that.
feeling of the sun coming through. You don't want it totally perfectly spelled out.
So if I wanna do this like this,
He would be straight.
That's how I am.
So,
The same thing.
just something gentle
blend it, I blend it.
and a little blended or something.
This.
What do we have choices?
All right, do you want to do half sheet or full sheet?